What we need is not more medication, but more education, because the best prescription is knowledge. This is Exposé coming to you live from Lagos, Nigeria, every Monday on Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook simultaneously. And I'm your regular host, Akinyemi. Don't forget, what we need is not more medication, but more education, because the best prescription is knowledge.
Welcome to Exposé. I'm your regular host, Akinyemi. It's always my joy and my pleasure. It's an honor for me to be able to bring you information for your health transformation. I believe that to be uninformed is to be deformed, but to be informed is to be transformed. And don't forget, I always say, what we need is not more medication, but more education, for the best prescription is knowledge. Exposé has been brought to you by the Shepherd's Flock International Church. This is where we reveal, unveil, disclose, and expose very pertinent pieces of information for your health and wellness and for your well-being. And it's a joy to always be your host. I'd like you to please always remind your friends and your neighbors and colleagues and family members to join us on Exposé every Monday at 8 p.m. for a 30 to 40-minute powerful expository teaching on how to position ourselves for great health and wellness, as well as well-being as we journey on in life. Permit me to say Happy New Year 2021 one more time again. I started a series last week on the causes of disease, and I looked at the three principal sources where disease comes from. Number one is from iniquity. Number two, from satanic attacks. And number three, from diet and lifestyle. The first two are spiritual in nature, mystical in nature, whereas the last one is natural and something we can relate to in our three-dimensional world. And I'm dwelling on that third category expressly. And I have carved out an acronym to make it very easy for you to remember. For those of you who were with me last week, you will recall that I gave you 7 components. DATIIS. And those who are joining us for the first time today, I encourage you to watch the episode for last week, and you will find the 7 items there. That is the cause of disease. But for the purpose of those of you joining us today, let me just go over it very quickly. The things that cause disease in the natural realm are, number one, deficiency, when you don't have enough of a particular nutritional factor, a nutrient that your body needs to function optimally, you don't have enough of it, or you don't have it at all. That's a state of deficiency that can lead to certain diseases. The second one is abuses. When you abuse your body, when you misuse your body, when you assault your body, that can also lead to disease. The third one is toxemia, or toxicity. When toxic substances, things that should not be in your body, are harbored in your body, they can make you sick. That's the third cause of disease. The fourth one is injury. There are 5 types of injuries, and when you suffer injury at any of the 5 levels, that can lay the foundation for future disease. And the next one is infection. There are infectious agents all over the place. We have microorganisms, we have parasites, we have mold, we have chemicals and environmental things that can actually make us sick, okay? And then we have the next one, sedentary living. No exercise, no physical activity. I normally say people sit down tetere bundukwasli. When you sit bundukwasli, that's a Yoruba word. I don't know if those of you out there who don't speak Yoruba will understand it, but I believe you will understand what I mean. When you sit down with inactivity like a couch potato, just sitting down on your couch and you have your remote control in your hands and you're just pointing to the TV and pressing the remote control and you're eating popcorn and popping soda pop, drinking soft drinks and wine. That is what I call sitting down, tetere bundukwasli. That is sitting like a couch potato. That can be a factor in causing disease, inactivity or sedentary living. And then stress, when your body is loaded with more than it can handle, more than it can hold, more than it can deal with. The activities and the pressures of life coming upon you that is far beyond what your body can handle, that can also lead to disease. Now, I'm going to take them one by one, and today I want to deal with the number one factor, deficiency. Now, so I have defined it before. Deficiency means I need it, I don't have it. Or I have it, but I don't have enough of it. That is deficiency. So what are the things that we need, that we must have in adequate amount and in a balanced manner, such that if we don't have them in adequate supply and we don't have them in a normal and proper balance, they can lead to disease in the body? What are those things? Okay? Now, those things I'm going to help you to identify. But before then, I want you to understand that there are three scenarios that can play out when it comes to the things that our bodies need to function optimally and be in a state of wellness and well-being. There are three scenarios. Scenario number one is that you can have a deficiency, not enough. Number two, you can have excess, too much. And number three, you can have it in a balanced manner. Now, what we are striving at is to have it in a balanced manner, to have them in a balanced manner. There are over 50 nutritional factors that your body needs in order to be in a state of well-being and health. Over 15 nutritional factors. And what are these nutritional factors? Number one, you need at least 3 macronutrients. M-A-C-R-O, macro. 3 macronutrients. Everybody should know that. Carbohydrates, we call them carbs. C-A-R-B-S for short. Carbohydrates. Things like when you eat yam, when you eat rice, when you eat potatoes, when you eat plantain, when you take your fruits, basically most fruits, not all fruits, like avocado pear is more fat than carbohydrate, okay? Yeah, when you take mango, you take orange, you take, all the common fruits around, banana, watermelon, pineapple, all those are carbohydrates, okay? Those are macronutrients, carbohydrates. Then the second macronutrient that your body needs is proteins. You need proteins. We have proteins in animal. We also have proteins in plant. Some people think that you can only get protein from animals. That's not correct. You can get protein from plants as well. Beans has a lot of protein. Cabbage has a lot of protein. Broccoli, cauliflower, they have protein. Soya, okay? There are so many plant foods that are very high in protein, okay? So there are plant sources of protein. There are animal sources of protein. Your body needs protein to perform several functions, okay? Principally, carbohydrates are needed for energy, principally, okay? But proteins are needed in so many biochemical activities in the body. Your body needs them to build muscle. Your body needs them for growth. Your body needs proteins to synthesize so many things that your body needs in the body. And then the third macronutrient that you need are fats and oil. There are bad fats and there are good fats. So if you are giving your body the good fats, then you are supplying all that your body needs to maintain wellness. But when you put bad fats into your body, you can actually create problems for yourself, okay? 50 nutritional factors, 3 of them macronutrients. And then you need minerals and trace minerals. As a matter of fact, when it comes to minerals, there are at least 60. At least there could be up to as far as 82 different minerals and trace minerals that your body needs to function well. Now, we call them minerals and trace minerals. The minerals are the ones that are needed in a little bit of higher amounts, maybe up to grams, like 1,000 milligrams or 500 milligrams or 2,000 milligrams, okay? But the trace minerals are needed in very tiny amounts, maybe in micrograms. For example, selenium, a very powerful antioxidant mineral, is only needed in micrograms. You don't need up to 1 milligram a day. 100 micrograms, 200 micrograms is just enough to meet your needs for the day. Copper is another trace mineral. You need approximately 2 milligrams to 3 milligrams a day. You don't need them in 100, 200, 500 milligrams. No, that would be toxic. That would be too much for your body. Zinc is another trace mineral that your body needs. You need probably, the recommended dosage for zinc For women, it's about 8 milligrams, whereas for men, it's about 11 milligrams. But let me clarify something. That means that the amount of zinc you need to prevent a deficiency is the 8 milligram for women, 11 milligram for women. But when zinc is used prophylactically or therapeutically, you need higher amounts of zinc, particularly in a pandemic. When there are viral infections, you need higher amounts than the 8 milligram and 11 milligram dosage recommended for daily intake. Now, the 8 milligram, 11 milligram is just the recommended daily allowance, RDA, to prevent deficiency. But if somebody is in a center, an epicenter, where viral infection is very rife, you want to upgrade, you want to upregulate, you want to take higher amounts of zinc, like up to 22 milligrams, 25 milligrams, 40 milligrams, maybe even 50 milligrams, as prophylaxis. Prophylaxis means for prevention, because there's a high risk of getting infected. And so you regulate upwards the amount that you take. For somebody who has actually been infected and tested positive to a viral infection, you can even take up to 100 milligrams per day for a short period of time, not for a long period of time, because viruses are self-limiting, usually, most of them, not all of them. When a person gets infected with COVID-19 or even Ebola, you see, within 14 days to 21 days, the virus will run through its cycle and it will self-expire, as it were. If the person is able to survive the assault, then life goes on. Okay, that is if the virus doesn't kill the person. So it's important for you to understand what amount is needed of any particular mineral or trace mineral as a recommended daily allowance, the amount that is needed for prophylaxis, for prevention, and the amount that is needed for treatment of an actual disease or for therapeutics, okay? Very, very important. So 60 minerals and at least minerals and trace minerals needed in the body. Don't go away. I'll be back shortly to continue this conversation on the needs of the body as far as nutritional factors are concerned.
Life is a game board. Time is your opponent. If you procrastinate, you will lose the game. You must make a move to be victorious. And that move is synergy.
Welcome back. This is Exposé, brought to you by the Shepherd's Flock International Church. Our headquarters church is at number 18 Shogunle Street at Bolu Onigbagbo, behind Etiebes Place, between the Coast Hospital and Sheraton Hotel, off Mobolaji Bank Antonewe, Ikeja. I invite you to join us in one of our services one of these Sundays at 9 a.m., and you will experience another dimension of God's grace and the anointing of the Holy Spirit to address your spiritual issues as well as your relationship and work with God. All right, now I'm talking about the causes of disease, and we're looking at the first cause in the natural realm, and that is deficiency. Okay, and I said the body needs at least about 50 nutritional factors, and one of them is macronutrients, and there are 3 macronutrients in that first category. The second one is minerals and trace minerals, and there are at least 60 minerals and trace minerals that the body needs. So if you are deficient in any of them, symptoms can begin to arise to show you that you are actually deficient and you need to do something about it. All right? And then, number 3, we also need at least 30 vitamins. You know, some of them are essential vitamins, some of them are non-essential vitamins. I've explained the difference between the two. The one that they call non-essential is actually more essential than the essential. The reason it is non-essential is that if you don't eat it in your diet, your body will still manufacture it because your body cannot afford not to have it. Okay, but the essential ones are the ones that your body will not manufacture. You have to eat it from your food. That's why it's called essential, as far as eating it is concerned. So about 30 different vitamins. And if you are deficient in any of those vitamins, your body will show you symptoms of disease. And then there are, number 4, what we call cofactors. Many cofactors are needed for wellness. I'll just run through them very quickly. Some of them are tangible, some of them are intangible. Unfortunately, quite often, we don't pay close attention to these other factors, cofactors for health. And so we run deficient on them. We may be getting, a balanced diet that supplies all the 3 macronutrients, all the 60 minerals, all the 30 vitamins, and what have you. And yet, if we are still deficient in these other factors or cofactors, disease can still happen. One of them is oxygen. Oxygen is something we breathe in the air, and we have to get enough of it. If your oxygen level goes too low, then a state of hypoxia is created, and that can kill very easily, and that can cause all kinds of symptoms. Low level of oxygen. And low level of oxygen can also make viruses, bacteria, fungi to replicate and to multiply because they like it when there's low level of oxygen, because these things are anaerobic in nature. Okay, then water is another cofactor that we need. If you don't have enough of it, you get dehydrated. Then roughages, that's what we used to call it in those days. When I was in secondary school, they taught us as roughages. But this day we call it fiber. You're very familiar with fiber. Okay, and then there are phytonutrients. In other words, plant nutrients. The word phyto is the Greek word for plant. So when you hear phytonutrients, we are talking about nutrients obtained from plants. Another word for it is phytochemicals. Certain chemicals in leaves, in seeds, in nuts, in roots and tree barks and what have you, that are critical to our health. They are called phytochemicals or phytonutrients. And then you use another cofactor or factor that is very, very important for health is our sleep. The quality of your sleep and the quantity of your sleep. That's another one. Then enzymes that come from your food. Of course, the human body produces enzymes to digest food, but enzymes are also present in every raw food that you eat. That's why when you eat a lot of raw food, you get a lot of enzyme. You don't have enzyme deficiency. Again, many people are not familiar with enzyme deficiency. The only thing you eat every day is cooked food. Your breakfast is cooked food, your lunch is cooked food, your supper is cooked food, your snacks, cooked food. You don't eat anything raw. You are only relying on the enzyme that your body produces from your pancreas to digest the food, okay? But there are 3 types of enzymes that your body needs. The first one is what we call the digestive enzyme that your body produces from your pancreas to digest your food. The second one is called the metabolic enzymes. That's the enzymes that your body produces to facilitate different metabolic and biochemical processes in your body. Because all the chemical processes in your body are facilitated by enzymes, okay? Even your thinking, memory, I'm talking, I'm breathing, and the various hormones that my body produces, enzymes are involved in the synthesis, in the production, in the manufacturing of those hormones. So there are those metabolic enzymes that your body uses to make those things. And then the third enzyme are food enzymes, the enzymes that come along with your raw food. When you take an avocado pear raw and you slice the skin off and take the butter and you eat it, it contains lipase, some enzymes inside the avocado to combine and join forces with the enzyme produced by your pancreas to do the job together. So it's a combined effort. When you take mango, you take banana, you take grapes, you take apple, they all contain respective enzymes to aid the digestion of the raw food. So it is the enzyme your body produces plus the enzyme that accompanies the food that will combine together. That's why raw food digests very quickly, because it's a combined effort of food enzymes and digestive enzymes. But when you take that food and you cook it, you boil it, maybe you juice your orange, for example, and then you pasteurize it. You boil it. Because all the orange juices you buy in a carton, they have been pasteurized. All the food enzyme in them have been killed, destroyed, because they are delicate protein molecules. They have been destroyed, so you no longer have food enzymes inside that food because it is cooked or processed. So you have to rely on only the enzyme that comes from your body to digest. That's why cooked food digests much more slowly than raw food. Okay, that's as far as enzymes are concerned. So we need food enzymes as another factor. Then we also need love. Many people don't know the role that love plays in healing and health. When a person is loved, when you receive love, it contributes to your well-being and your wellness. When all you have is hatred and malice and attacks, that launches a ferocious attack on your psyche. And that is toxic to your emotional well-being, to your mental wellness. And that has implications for your physical body as well. So love is another component that we should be giving to others and we should be receiving from others for our own well-being. Now, there is the principle of 9 problems, 1 cause. 9 problems, 1 cause. What do I mean by that? For every 1 mineral or trace mineral that you are deficient in, it can produce in your body at least 9 different symptoms to alert you of the deficiency. In other words, if you are deficient in zinc, your body can generate 9 different symptoms. And all the symptoms are as a result of this 1 deficiency, zinc deficiency. So for every 1 mineral or trace mineral that you are deficient in, it can produce 9 different, at least 9 different symptoms, disease symptoms in your body. So when you see those symptoms, particularly associated symptoms, they are all clear signals of the deficiency that you're having. Let me show you an example. For example, if you are deficient in selenium, selenium is a trace mineral. Okay, if you are deficient in selenium, that can cause quite a number of symptoms in your body. For example, it can contribute to the following conditions. Selenium deficiency. It can lead to a congenital problem that is found in certain children. They are born with that problem. It's called cystic fibrosis. Cystic fibrosis can make a child not to grow into adulthood before they die. They die a few months or a few years after they are born. Cystic fibrosis. That can be as a result of selenium deficiency. Selenium deficiency can also lead to SIDS. That is sudden infant death syndrome. Sudden infant death syndrome. A woman is deficient in selenium during pregnancy, and so the baby, consequently, is deficient in selenium. The baby is born with some congenital problems, and the baby dies not too long after birth. Sudden infant death syndrome. Okay? Selenium deficiency can also lead to high infant mortality. Many children have been lost in their infancy because of selenium deficiency. It can also cause infertility in adults. Selenium deficiency can make adults to be infertile. It can lead to low birth weight. Just selenium deficiency alone. Look at all the things it can cause in the body. Selenium deficiency can also lead to anemia, low blood volume in the body. It can lead to age spots and liver spots, and that becomes very evident, particularly in people that are light-skinned. You see the spots, like brown spots on their skin all over. It's called age spot or liver spots as a result of selenium deficiency. Selenium deficiency can also lead to liver cirrhosis, hardness of the liver. Okay? It can lead to muscular weakness, where the person is feeling weak in all the muscles. It can lead to myalgia. Myalgia means muscular pain and soreness. All the muscle groups all over the body is just feeling sore and weak. It can also lead to cardiomyopathy. It's a group of symptoms affecting the heart. It's a cardiovascular problem. I discussed that during my series on cardiovascular problems. Selenium deficiency can also lead to heart palpitations, where the heart is beating, bang, 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 bang. You can almost hear your own heartbeat each time. It can even lead to cancer, selenium deficiency. These are all the different things that selenium deficiency can cause. So you can see how many of them. Now, if 10 people are deficient in selenium, it may create symptom A in Mr. A and symptom B in Mr. B. It may manifest in different ways in different people. It takes somebody who is well-schooled, well-trained in these things to be able to figure it out, that these signs and symptoms that I am seeing in you are pointing to a deficiency in selenium. Where do you get selenium from? You get selenium from some of your nuts, okay? Or you can just buy supplements and be sure you are getting about 100 micrograms of selenium every day. It's a powerful antioxidant. It helps to neutralize free radicals and prevent oxidative damage. And let me talk about zinc deficiency. When you are deficient in zinc, okay, that can lead to a loss of sense of smell, loss of sense of smell, or loss of sense of taste. These are symptoms that you are deficient in zinc. Don't go away, I'll be back shortly.
I believe you've been having a terrific time with me on Exposé with Tony Akinyemi. We have great resources that will bless your life available to you on healthy living and many other life subjects. We have various platforms where you can obtain materials for your blessing. You can obtain some of our work, our books, particularly on Amazon.com. How to Regain and Retain Your Health is a book title that I highly recommend. It's available in digital format, Kindle edition, as well as in printed version. We also have juices and smoothies for healing, health, and pleasure. You can also find these items at another website, familabooks.com, Famila books.com. And for those of you who are in Nigeria, you can reach us at the Shepherd Store, 18 Shogunle Street, off Mobolaji Bank Anthony Way, behind STF's Place, to get our materials. We have over 600 recorded audio CDs, DVDs, VCDs, and MP3 on various subjects. All these things that I teach on Exposé are already available in their complete format. How to reverse hypertension naturally, how to reverse diabetes naturally, how to reverse arthritis naturally, and many other wonderful titles. I encourage you to visit this website, Amazon.com, familabooks.com, or TSF bookstores in Ikeja, Lagos, Nigeria, and you will be blessed reading those materials and sharing them with your friends and family. Thank you once again. God bless you.
Welcome back. This is Exposé, brought to you by the Shepherd's Flock International Church, and I'm your regular host, Tony Akinyemi. We're dealing with the first cause of disease in the natural realm, which is deficiency, and we're looking at certain symptoms that your body can manifest when you are deficient in certain minerals. I've looked at the symptoms that characterize selenium deficiency. Now, I want to talk about the symptoms that may show up in the person's body when the person has zinc deficiency. The first symptom that may show up is loss of sense of smell. Another symptom of zinc deficiency is loss of sense of taste. Now, let's come back to COVID-19. We've been talking back and forth on COVID-19. One of the symptoms, or two of the symptoms rather, of COVID-19 infection is when people begin to lose their sense of smell and their sense of taste. It's one of the symptoms, or two of the symptoms of COVID-19. That correlates with zinc deficiency. In other words, when a person gets infected with the virus, one of the things that happens is that your body mobilizes all the zinc reserves that you have in your body to tackle that virus. And before long, all your zinc store is used up in the body, and COVID-19 infection will now lead to zinc deficiency. Once you attain that status of being zinc deficient, you now lose your sense of smell, you lose your sense of taste. That is why one of the remedies for dealing with COVID-19 is zinc. Of course, zinc ions don't cross your cell membranes into your cell easily. Therefore, you need a transporter, something that will open your cell membrane to allow zinc to go in. That's why whenever you are taking zinc to address viral infections such as COVID-19, you take the zinc with a transporter. Scientifically, that transporter is called ionophore. Okay, I-O-N-O-P-H-O-R-E, ionophore. Now, that ionophore is supposed to help open the cell and allow zinc to go in. And there are many things that can serve that purpose as transporters to help zinc to go into your cell, zinc ions to go into your cell. One of them is hydroxychloroquine. That is why hydroxychloroquine in combination with zinc and various other things like vitamin C, vitamin D, probiotics, energy, iodine, or what have you, can help to mitigate COVID-19 infection if you start giving that treatment to somebody early. Of course, you need a medical doctor, licensed medical doctor, to prescribe hydroxychloroquine for you. You cannot just self-prescribe for that one. It's a prescription medication. But there are other transporters that don't require any prescription. For example, the herb that is called Artemisia annua, where artemisinin is extracted from. By the way, artemisinin that is extracted from Artemisia annua herb is what is used to make artesunate, which is, artesunate is a derivative of artemisinin. It's the synthetic version of artemisinin. So if you have the herb Artemisia annua, otherwise known as wormwood, W-O-R-M-W-O-O-D, wormwood. That is Artemisia annua. If you have the herb, you can use it in conjunction with zinc as an ionophore, as a transporter. Then there is quercetin. Quercetin is found in onions, it's found in garlic. It's also a good transporter that can open the door to allow iron, zinc ion, to enter your cell. Then DMSO is a sulfur compound that can also serve as an ionophore. So there are so many transporters that can be used in conjunction with zinc. So zinc, when there is deficiency of zinc in the body, a loss of sense of smell, loss of sense of taste. That is why COVID-19 infection can gradually lead to the loss of sense of smell, sense of taste. Now, different viruses utilize different minerals in the body to replicate themselves or that the body uses to fight the virus, as the case may be. For example, if somebody is infected with Ebola virus, the body will mobilize all the vitamin C in the body to fight the virus. And then before long, the body sinks into vitamin C deficiency. And that is why the body will begin to suffer something that looks like scurvy, bleeding internally, bleeding from the nose, bleeding from the ear. And that scurvy, that simulated scurvy, is what kills Ebola-infected patients. Same thing, when people have HIV infection, the body mobilizes selenium to fight the virus, and the person will sink into selenium deficiency. And that is why anybody with HIV infection should begin to take a lot of selenium, at least 200 to 400 micrograms per day. And then, when somebody has COVID-19 infection, the body mobilizes zinc to fight the virus, because zinc inhibits COVID-19 replication. And so the body goes into zinc deficiency because it uses up all the store of zinc that it has, and the person goes into zinc deficiency, loses a sense of smell, sense of taste. Another deficiency of zinc is failure of wounds and ulcers to heal. Somebody has a wound and is not healing, zinc deficiency can be responsible. Zinc deficiency can also lead to severe body odor. If you have severe body odor, and you use all the perfume in the world, your body is still smelling, you may be zinc deficient. It can also lead to depression. Zinc deficiency affects mental health, can lead to depression. It can also lead to alopecia, that is hair loss, when you see your hair breaking and breaking. Zinc deficiency, biotin deficiency, and so on and so forth. And then zinc deficiency can also lead to anemia, low blood volume. Zinc deficiency can lead to a weakened immunity and make that person vulnerable to infections. Zinc deficiency can also lead to low sperm count. So you can see the role that deficiency can play in disease causation and progression. That's why you should never allow yourself to be deficient, because deficiencies are not good at all. They are one of the critical factors responsible for many diseases. So you see many people walking around town and they are telling you their symptoms, they have this, they have that. It could just be that they are deficient in one thing or the other. And you see the solution, the panacea, the remedy is for you to supply what is missing. And the moment you begin to load your body with what is missing, you see that everything will resolve. If the problem is a deficiency problem, once you supply what is needed, the body knows how to utilize what you have supplied to resolve the crisis and restore normalcy, restore balance, and restore homeostasis, and then your wellness and your well-being is back in shape. Time will not permit us to go beyond this point today. We are going to continue this conversation next week by the special grace of God, God willing, as we continue to look at the role that deficiencies play in causing diseases. Don't forget that one mineral or trace mineral deficiency can generate as much as 9 different disease symptoms in the body. You need to educate yourself to understand why some of those symptoms are showing up, so you know exactly what to do to address those situations. So if you have a sense of loss of taste or loss of smell, you should quickly understand that you are zinc deficient. Now, the question is, what made me to become zinc deficient? Is it because I am not consuming enough zinc-rich foods? Or is it because I have a viral infection such as COVID-19 that has depleted my zinc store and I need to increase my zinc intake? And by the way, if you are taking zinc as a supplement, also understand that if you take it for long term, it will also deplete the amount of copper, a trace mineral, in your body. So when you are taking zinc, it is advisable to always take a little amount of copper along with it, so you don't have copper deficiency after taking zinc supplement for a long time. You don't need more than 2 milligrams, 3 milligrams of copper per day. So if you're taking like 50 milligrams of zinc, just supplement it with 2 milligrams of copper, and that solves the problem. Same way, if you are taking copper as a supplement, you need to take zinc as the twin brother, because if you take copper for a long time, it will cause zinc deficiency, and that can lead to zinc deficiency symptoms. You don't want that to happen in your body. And there are many food items that are high in zinc. You need to find out what those things are and eat more of them. Ginger particularly is one of them. Then brown rice, unpolished rice, or fada rice, they're also very high in zinc. And many, many other food items out there. Once you eat those zinc-rich food, then you don't have zinc deficiency, you don't have any problem with some of these things. Thank you for your time with me today. It's been Exposé, brought to you by the Shepherd's Flock International Church, and I am your regular host, Tony Akinyemi. Don't forget that what we need is not more medication, but more education. And the best prescription is knowledge. God bless you.
What we need is not more medication, but more education, because the best prescription is knowledge. This is Exposé coming to you live from Lagos, Nigeria, every Monday on Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook simultaneously. And I'm your regular host, Tony Akinyemi. Don't forget, what we need is not more medication, but more education, because the best prescription is knowledge.